Hello, everyone. My name is Jin Qian, and I'm a PhD student from Department of Applied Social Sciences, the Hong Kong Polytechnic University. Today I'm going to share my experience in using topic modeling on consumer behaviors, consumer reviews of social enterprises. And this is actually part of my PhD research, and the analysis has not been fully completed yet. So I welcome all the comments, suggestions, and questions, and please feel free to share it with me at the end of my presentation. So let me start with a little bit background of my research. The research question is, what drives social enterprises' legitimacy assessed by consumers? So social enterprise is defined as a hybrid and novel organization that is driven by social mission and sustained by business models. For example, in Hong Kong, there are some restaurants. They employ disabled people as their staff to provide the dining service to the public. So the social mission of such restaurants is to provide employment opportunities for the disabled group, and they run the restaurant as a way to generate income to be sustainable and to sustain the operation. And legitimacy refers to the perception or judgment on organizations' appropriateness, desirability, and acceptance. And there are many different types of audiences to confer legitimacy with very different rationales. And consumers, as one of the important groups to confer legitimacy, has been less studied in the literature. So in this research, I will focus on consumers at the audience group to confer legitimacy to social enterprises, and I want to explore the drivers of such legitimacy. So I collect data from a platform called OpenRice. OpenRice is a very popular dining app in Hong Kong, where people can describe their dining experience, to read the restaurants, and also to seek recommendations from other people's reviews. And there is a category in the app called social enterprise restaurant, like the screenshot shows. And I collected all the consumer reviews from restaurants that have been labeled as social enterprise restaurants. And the time span of the collect data ranges from September 8, 2002 to October 2020. And in total, there are 79 social enterprise restaurants, and I collected like 1,692 reviews. And from these reviews, I identified there are 1,361 unique consumers after excluding 22 anonymous reviews. And I further classified the reviews based on whether these reviews explicitly mention the keywords related to social enterprise, because the literature suggested that people's prior knowledge of organizations may have an influence on their legitimacy judgment. So after the classification, I have like 600 SE aware reviews versus 1,092 SE unaware reviews. And I also calculated the number of tokens from each of the review, and to do so is to decide which type of topic modeling I can use in my research. And when I pre-process my data, I actually met several difficulties. The first one is I found that there are multiple languages existing in the consumer reviews. For example, some people they wrote in Cantonese, some people they wrote in English. Some people they wrote in a mixture of the both language. So this created difficulties for me to tokenize or to further run the topic modeling for me. And I haven't found any packages that can help me to solve the problem. So my strategy is to translate all the Chinese text to English text. And after that, I validate the accuracy of the translation through two ways. The first one is I randomly selected 100 translations from the text and manually check the quality of the translation. The second one is I search the Chinese keywords related to social enterprise and see whether it's correctly translated into English. And the second problem that I met is there are a lot of emojis in the reviews. And actually, some people suggest that emojis are very valuable to be included in the research and to be included in the analysis because sometimes they kind of reflect the sentiment from the consumers. Well, when I reviewed the text from the consumer reviews, I found that many of the emojis are not very relevant to some key variables. They are related to the food, they relate to the stars or some irrelevant things. So I decided to remove all the emojis. And before I run the topic modeling, I did the term frequency analysis and to give me an overview of the features of different types of reviews. And based on whether they are SEO aware or SEO unaware reviews, and based on their rating is at the top or bottom quartiles of the rating. So a very interesting finding from the results is that I found there's a term friend only appear in one of the category. And then I decided to run the structural topic modeling because STM has a feature that allows the researchers to estimate the relationship between topic proportion and also the metadata from the documents. I use the consumer rating as a proxy of legitimacy judgment and also include SE awareness as the metadata. And here are the two examples of the results I get from the STM. So the left one suggested that the topic proportions such as the food taste, experiential dining, and restaurant helping children significantly higher in SE-aware reviews than SE-unaware reviews. And the right one suggests that when people give high legitimacy to social enterprise restaurants, they are more likely to mention the food taste, the social relational dining, and some social missions of the restaurants. While when they give the low legitimacy to social enterprises restaurants, they are more likely to mention some food quality problem and menu design problems. And after that, I started to think about a question that can the results of the STM answer my research question? And my answer is probably no. The reason is that in my research question, the legitimacy is kind of a dependent variable that I want to predict. And in the STM, actually it uses as a independent variable to predict the topic proportion. So it kind of reversed the role of legitimacy judgment. And my tentative solution is I rerun the LDA with 20 topics, and then I run a lasso regression to help me to predict the strong predictors from the 20 topics to predict the legitimacy judgment. And the best model selected 11 out of 20 topics, and 6 of them are negative predictors and 5 of them are positive predictors. So the next step for me to continue to analyze my data is first I will validate the result of lasso, and then I will try to interpret the topics and categorize them or conceptualize them. And then I will run the LDA plus a lasso regression separately on SE-aware reviews and SE-unaware reviews. And then I will compare the strong predictors of the two types. And this is basically my experience in using the topic modeling in my research. And I summarized 2 lessons from the experience. The first one is don't get yourself lost when you try to apply these new and fancy techniques in your research. Always think about your research question. Always think about how these techniques can serve your research question. And the second one is consider to combine topic modeling with other methods like Professor Hai Liang mentioned in his presentation. Because the results of topic modeling is more descriptive, and it's very hard for researchers to generate some novel theoretical insights from the description. So always think about combining the topic modeling with other methods like experiment, like a network analysis to generate theoretical insights. So this is the end of my presentation. Thank you.